Today, the Boy Scouts of America, an institution that's lasted more than 100 years, produced as Eagle Scouts some of the great leaders of America, cease to exist. They're going to now be forever known as Scouting America. In case you missed it, the important distinction is the removal of the reference to boys from their name. Roger Crone, who took over last fall as president of the Boy Scouts, or I guess now Scouts, told the AP, in the next 100 years, we want any youth in America to feel very, very welcome to come into our program. Some of the notables from the past 100 years of Boy Scouts include Gerald Ford, Neil Armstrong, Steven Spielberg. Maybe it's no surprise, though, participation in the Boy Scouts has plummeted in the past decades. 1969, over 4.5 million boys were active members. 2022, that number has fallen to just over 1 million, and that's with a far larger population. In other words, the Boy Scouts had to do something. This may be their Hail Mary. Somebody who knows a lot about Hail Marys, Joe Theismann, Super Bowl champ, Life Scout, NFL's Man of the Year in 1982. It's great to have you. So many people are making this about, whether it's woke and whether it's too inclusive and on and on and on. If you look at this just from a pure business decision, right, this is something that the Scouts, I guess, in a way, had to do, right?
Well, Leland, first of all, thank you for having me. This isn't something that just happened today. I mean, we've had young women inclusive in scouting for quite a while now. And as a matter of fact, we have a lot of different gendered individuals that are in scouting right now. So it's a part of what we're looking at as the times go, the things that we're involved with as a society today, and the inclusiveness that I think we're seeing in so many different aspects and areas. But we can't lose sight of the value of scouting and what it does for young men, young women, to be able to have an opportunity to get out into nature, to be able to learn trades, to be able to work together. There's so much value in scouting in so many different ways. The fact that it's going to be called Scouting America versus Boy Scouts of America is just one of those debated issues, but it shouldn't change what scouting actually provides to young people.
Fair enough, it shouldn't. I guess the question is, will it change? Because we have seen so many organizations in the efforts to be inclusive and in the efforts to make everybody feel good, to lower their standards, right? And I think you know more than anybody, especially in athletics, the importance of having winners and losers, of keeping high standards, of pushing people to achieve their best. How does this not become a slow and slippery road of sort of devaluing the values and the honor of the Boy Scouts?
I don't think it devalues it at all. There's so many merit badges and so many opportunities available for both young men and young women in so many different professions. I mean, you could learn how to be a welder. You could learn how to be a steelworker. I mean, there's so many different things, so many opportunities that are provided through scouting for young men and young women. I don't see where it's going to devalue it. I don't see it really backing up. I see it expanding to an opportunity where it is a more inclusive aspect of life, where you have a lot of different things that have happened. I mean, there have been female astronauts. There have been, Eagle Scouts that are astronauts. So, I mean, it doesn't, I think, hurt the core of what scouting is trying to accomplish.
All right. The people who are sort of the least happy about this, interestingly enough, are the Girl Scouts. And this goes all the way back. You're right. This has been a slow change, 2017 from the Atlantic. Why do the Boy Scouts want to include girls? The organization's decision overturns a historic and defining separation, raising questions about timing and how they differ from the Girl Scouts. In the earliest years, Boy Scouts teachings were imbued with a more frontiersman ethos connected to the national narrative of moving west, while the Girl Scouts were a more urban movement, teaching both domestic and outdoor skills. This is Tammy Proctor, who wrote the history of scouting for girls. And you think about who wrote that, the Atlantic of all things, unhappy about the inclusivity of the Boy Scouts, which I'm trying to figure it all out. You have an answer for that?
I really don't. All I know is that I don't, you can't really say, what is, applies to the Girl Scouts, what applied to the Boy Scouts. I think there's so much more that's inclusive today and so many elements and opportunities for the young people that, we've crossed from that one side to the other side into a joint venture, I guess you could say, to provide so much opportunity in every element and in every aspect so that when a young person wants to enter into scouting, that there is a menu of opportunities there to be able to work on a merit badge, to want to become an Eagle Scout. I think one of the great things about life is, again, like, what can you accomplish? I mean, we see a lot of people out there just sort of living average. Well, if you get into scouting and you want to become an Eagle Scout, you're going to have to work for it. You're going to have to work hard. You're going to have to get merit badges. There's so much. I think that is really where the value is of scouting in every element.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.